Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am actually trying a different type of content which I have been planning to do for a while now. So I'm actually going to have a speed art and a commentary on a topic that I want to talk about on top of that speed art. So please do let me know what you think about this type of content because I'm really excited about it because this type of video would let me post both types of content that I enjoy making. So let me know what you think in the comments, and without further ado, I'm going to be telling you how to build your own online brand. Now I'm going to be talking specifically about for YouTubers or Twitch streamers or any other social media platforms. Now, if you want to build a brand on a social media platform, your own personal brand, there are a few things that are going to be really good to keep in mind when you're going about doing it. Now, there are a few reasons why it's actually important to have an online brand for yourself. Especially if you're going to be a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, having an online brand is really good because it allows people to know who you are, okay? It allows people to essentially know your name and know your personality, and when they see that, and when they see your name or personality, they will know it is you and they will watch that video. Very big YouTubers have this habit of essentially transcending the limits of their content. Now, as you may know, a lot of times when you're doing YouTube, you want to focus on making a specific type of content and not really stray far from it, because your subscribers are only subscribing for a specific type of content. And if you start posting other content, they won't really care about it. For example, if you are posting graphic design videos like I do, and then suddenly you start posting videos about how to save money, also like me, you're gonna notice a drop in your views. Now, this isn't necessarily because your content is less good or not as well edited or anything like that. The reason it is because your subscribers want the content they subscribe for. For example, if you subscribe to a YouTube channel that does graphics, odds are you want to see graphics. But if they start posting other content, you're not going to care as much for that content, unless they've already established a brand that you like. Now, it's really important to keep in mind that your personality is the most important aspect to your brand. If people can associate with your personality and can empathize with you as a person, that's going to make it much easier for you to post different content. This has been shown to be the case time and time again with a lot of big YouTubers. They start off posting one thing or another thing, but eventually when they're big enough, they just get tired of that and want to switch up their content. But when they do, you don't really notice a massive drop in views. The reason for this is they've already established their brand and their personality, which is connected to that brand. Because they've done this, people don't care that they switch their content because people are subscribing for them and not the content they produce. Now, there are a few good ways to get your brand out there and to make it cohesive, because a cohesive brand is the most important thing. Because that's the whole point about a brand, is to have it reliable. You need people to be able to know what your brand is. Whether that be your personality or your content, it needs to stay reliable. Now, one thing I'd like to mention is just try and get the same name on all social media platforms across the board. This isn't super important, but it is pretty useful. Because if I have my name as, let's say, Carson Alworth on YouTube, which you can go subscribe if you want. Right below there's a button that says subscribe. You can click that if you're enjoying this content. But if I have my name as Carson Alworth on YouTube, it would be youtube.com/Carson Alworth. Now, let's say someone already took the name Carson Alworth on Twitter. Then what would we do? I can't just say, follow me on all social media platforms at Carson Alworth, because that wouldn't be true. It might be Carson Alworth 19. So ideally, when it is possible, you want your name on all platforms to be consistent. For example, what I've done, every single platform you can find me on, my website, my Twitter, my Twitch, my YouTube, it's at Carson Alworth. Now, this is not the most important thing. There are a bunch of big YouTubers who don't have this. However, if you can get a cohesive name between the platforms, that is a really important thing. Or at least, not really important. It's a really, really nice thing to have. It's nice. Now also, another thing is to always have a nice logo. You want a really good logo for your brand. Whether that's just a portrait of you, a high quality one, or whether that's some fancy logo which you had me design, shameless plug, you want a really, really nice logo for your brand. And you also want it to be recognizable and simple. The thing is, the human brain is wired to recognize really simple objects and shapes. So the simpler your logo is, the easier it is gonna be for people to recognize it. Now obviously, this doesn't mean you can't have your portrait as your logo. That really works as well because it's cohesive with your brand. However, if you do want a logo for your brand, be sure to keep it as simple and clean as possible, sticking to maybe 2 or 3 colors at most. So anyways, the next thing is your tagline, or the next important part of building an online brand, I should say, is your tagline, but essentially it's the most important part of what you do. For example, you want to take everything you offer to your customers and your clients and condense it into one simple tagline. What you want is essentially a unique selling proposition. Now this is for advertising specifically, but it really works for your online brand as well. A unique selling proposition is basically what makes you and your channel and your content and your personality as unique as possible, okay? You want your uniqueness personified in a slogan for your brand. Now, that can be really anything, but you need to think about why your brand is unique. Now, it could be because of the buyer you serve, or because of what you sell, or because you have an unusual angle, or because of your personality. But you need to find your unique selling proposition, and that will be your tagline or your slogan. Now also, another thing for YouTubers and Twitch streamers or any other online personality really is you need to have a very long and fleshed out about page. Now YouTube has an about page. I'm not entirely for sure about Twitch, but if you can write your little bio, you want to have all your other links to other social media platforms, about you, make yourself seem likable. Talk about yourself and relate with other people. And that's just a really good thing to do. Also, of course, as I've been mentioning, always link to all your other social media channels everywhere. If you have a description on your YouTube videos, put links to your other social media channels. On your Twitch stream, put links to your other social media platforms. Always link to your other platforms and channels. This will help grow your brand as an entirety instead of just one platform. But another thing that's really important for building a brand is to have unique or at least high quality content. If you've noticed one thing about any social media influencers who grow their online brand and their platform really quickly, it's that they have unique content that people want to see. And you need to be able to create this to make your brand grow fast. Another really important tip is to just be yourself. Don't try and put on some fake act for people because it's not gonna work. And if it does, it's just gonna be really tiresome. I mean, imagine just having to spend 365 days a year acting fake on camera. That would get really, really exhausting. And if people ever found out, they wouldn't trust you and it would ruin your brand. So just don't do that. There's no reason to do that. Be yourself and act how you would act. Now obviously have tact. Don't just go spewing out a bunch of offensive things that people might not like, and get yourself canceled. That's not what I'm saying to do, but show your own personality. Don't feel like you have to hide your personality behind a fake one. You're you and people are gonna want to watch you. You just have to be comfortable on camera and be yourself. Another really important thing for building a brand is always just have a schedule. Post on the same days and always stick to that schedule as long as possible. It's a really good idea to have some videos saved as backup in case anything ever comes up, so you don't have to get off that schedule. But a schedule is so important. Whenever I slip off my schedule, which is Saturdays and Wednesdays, by the way, so keep that in mind, but whenever I slip off my schedule, I notice an immediate drop in views. This is both because of the YouTube algorithm and just because when you're on a schedule, people will remember which days you are going to post, even subconsciously. Sometimes you will just you'll have this feeling that a YouTuber is gonna post, even if you don't know that they're gonna post, but then it turns out that they did post, and that's because of their schedule. So schedules are so important. Anyways, I think that's all I have for you today, so I will see you in the next video.